Dave, I've said it for a long time, and I've got some awesome liberal friends. Awesome.
Yeah.
But I have always faced discrimination, bigotry, jealousy from white liberals. That's been the story of my career. Now, there have been some that have been tremendous to me, and I've written about them, called them out by name. But overall, what the white liberal, how they feel comfortable helping black people is like, oh, can I bend over and help you out, poor Negro? And then when I help you out, make sure you put it on your resume that I helped you out. I'm gonna tell everybody, and you know what? For me helping you out, never say a word I disagree with. Because if you
Yeah,
do,
exactly.
you've sold me out and you're an ungrateful person. And I don't want to generalize, but about conservatives, but what conservatives have generally done in this business as it relates to me is like, oh man, how can we make money? Dave, I've seen people, this is one of the craziest things I saw in the media. I saw a guy on TV that told a story, I think during the height of the George Floyd or one of these, Eric Garner, one of these moments, went on TV and said that he and his wife had decided that they would no longer let their 18-year-old son drive a car because they were so petrified of the police. And I was just sitting there, and again, this is the kind of, if I was the commissioner of one of these sports, I would clown suit this guy. Because I would just go, no, hold on, man. You're so afraid of the police that you're not gonna let your black son drive a car. Are you gonna let him go to a party with other black boys? Because statistically, his chances of being killed by somebody are 1,000 times greater by another 18-year-old black boy than the police. So maybe you should pass a rule. You can't run around with black boys. And then now go ahead and respond to that. And they would have nothing to say. America could see these are clowns. These are people that are just saying shit on TV to draw attention to themselves, to make sure that the checks come in from MSNBC, China, Nike, whoever. But this isn't the truth. And so if I was a commissioner of the NFL, I'd just stand on truth. And I would, but Roger Goodell, he's not equipped for this argument or this time. And, ownership scared. But at some point, Dave, men are going to have to be men again. And men that understand how good this country has been to us and our families are going to have to stand up and fight this fight and quit hiding. It's one of the main reasons I left corporate media, because I wanted to get in the fight for real. I want the gloves off, and let's pick up these muskets and let's mow down some of these idiots that are trying to tear this country down.
So I'm guessing you're not getting any calls from good old Joy Reid over at MSNBC for these conversations.
I wish she would call me, Dave, because what I'd like to introduce her to a beautician who could get her to settle on a hairstyle. Because every time you turn on that damn TV, she got a new hairstyle, a new wig. She's culturally appropriated from every race on the planet with her hairstyle. One day is Wilma Rudolph. Hold on. Who is it? Wilma?
Flintstone.
Wilma Flintstone.
Yeah.
What was who? Barney Rubble?
Rubble.
Yeah. You just never know from day to day who she gonna culturally appropriate from hairstyle to hairstyle. And then, and she's one of the biggest phonies on TV. If her old blogs are what she really thinks. This woman was raised in the church just like me.
Yeah.
She's on TV lying, pretending that she's some kind of leftist, and it's all to collect a check. And those are the real sellouts. Those are the people selling out what they really believe for money. And then they sit around and they want to call Tim Scott. They want to call him or and all this. So yeah, no, I won't be getting a call from Joy Reid.
Yeah, and not that Twitter is much of a barometer of anything other than the general hate of the world, but I see what people say to you. We talked about it last time. You'll make a political comment or a sports or a societal comment, and then the things that they will say to you as a black man, the supposedly tolerant people, it's just extraordinary, and it just never ends.
Dave, I've said it for a long time, and I've got some awesome liberal friends. Awesome.
Yeah.
But I have always faced discrimination, bigotry, jealousy from white liberals. That's been the story of my career. Now, there have been some that have been tremendous to me, and I've written about them, called them out by name, but overall, what the white liberal, how they feel comfortable helping black people is like, oh, can I bend over and help you out, poor Negro? And then when I help you out, make sure you put it on your resume that I helped you out. And I'm gonna tell everybody, and you know what? For me helping you out, never say a word I disagree with. Because if you do,
exactly.
You've sold me out and you're an ungrateful person. And I don't want to generalize, but about conservatives, but what conservatives have generally done in this business as it relates to me is like, oh man, how can we make money? And that's it. It's like, what you need? How can we make money? With the liberal, it's, hey man, you got to pledge allegiance to everything that I believe in, and then we can make some money. But you better thank me every day when you come in here that I allowed you to make this money. And that's what I think, Dave.
No, I gotcha. You'll appreciate this. A couple days ago, because I told you I don't watch the new games anymore. I watch these old games on YouTube, and I was watching the '92 finals. That's the Jordan Shrug year, and they're interviewing Clyde the Glide. I've got a ball signed from him right behind me here, and they start asking him about race out of nowhere. And you may remember, Clyde never had an opinion on anything. He never really commented on anything. It wasn't his thing. And they keep trying to get him to comment on race. And then they go, it's a white interviewer, by the way. He's still in the biz. I'll tell you who he is after. It's not. We don't need to throw him under the bus right now. And he goes, well, Jordan, with all his success and all his influence, like, shouldn't he be doing more to make sure racism doesn't exist in America and everything else? And Clyde, who never said anything really interesting outside of basketball, he goes, he's a basketball player. He's working on his craft. He's not a politician. And I was so freaking relieved to hear it, that this guy who I love because of his skill said something sensible. And that was 1992, 30 years ago. You could say something sensible and you wouldn't be. Now he would be called a sellout for saying that, basically.
And potentially run out of the NBA. He would definitely get a suspension.
Yeah.
They come up with some reason to suspend him. How dare you say that racism isn't the number one thing, and that Michael Jordan, who's a basketball player, must take a position on that. What Clyde said there is 1,000% sensible. Look, it's so hard to compete at the level that Jordan, Clyde Drexler, and these guys did. If people think that when Jordan's at the height of his career, that he's also studying up on geopolitical issues and domestic issues, the guy just had some self-awareness. Like, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm a basketball player right now. Why don't y'all go ask the politicians or the historians or activists or whatever? Why are you asking me as a basketball player? And it's one of those selfish things that we in the media did, because this generation, the generation of sports journalists that didn't get to cover Muhammad Ali, didn't get to cover the impact of the Vietnam War and the civil rights movement on America. Those of us that didn't, we want to redo it. And we want to turn LeBron James into Muhammad Ali. And I've said this many, many times. LeBron James is a basketball player. He's not that smart. Listen to him talk. Go read his Twitter feed, his Instagram. He can barely spell. But y'all think this guy is some kind of thought leader, public intellectual, whatever. And then the number one thing, because his lack of grammar and all that, I could almost deal with that. But what the media won't deal with is that Muhammad Ali, whether we like the Nation of Islam or not, he was connected and controlled by a religious sect. And Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, whether we like them or not, very smart people, ahead of the curve. They control. Muhammad Ali said what they told him to say and did what they told him to do at that time. LeBron James ain't connected to nobody but Nike and Phil Knight. Phil Knight is not Elijah Muhammad or Malcolm X. And so who's advised Adam Mendelsohn? I know Adam Mendelsohn, the PR guy that works behind, but he ain't Malcolm X or Elijah Muhammad. Expecting any of these athletes can barely keep up with their baby mamas. How the hell are they gonna keep up with what's going on in the rest of the world? We keep putting them in this position, and we keep, who gonna be the next Muhammad Ali? And we have to accept those days are gone. The athletes today make millions of dollars, live in gated communities, next to people who look like Dave Rubin, and they're not in the hood, they're not connected to the working class, Black Americans or white Americans the way they used to be. These are the elites. They've been led into the club. That's why they go through these little rituals of putting dresses on like Russell Westbrook, and everybody go through these humiliation rituals so they can be led into the club. They're not speaking for the working class person anymore. They're speaking for Nike, they're speaking for China, they're speaking for their pocketbooks. We need to cut it out asking these guys to do things they're incapable of doing. I almost feel sorry for them. It's like, it would almost be like if somebody asked, hey, spend the night at McDonald's and never eat a double filet of fish sandwich. It's not gonna happen, Dave. It's not gonna happen.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about the media instead of nonstop yelling, check out our media playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out the full episode playlist. They're both right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.